Hey guys, um, the Kings go up 2-zip. Um, just a big win last night. Big win for the Kings for that crowd. Um, First and foremost, I mean the playoffs and the regular season in the NBA are just two different sports. I mean last night teams were just so aggressive, just getting into it. Big rivalry game. Just so much fun to watch. Um, and the rest just letting him play. I thought it was a lot of fun. So um, that being said, yeah, big win for the Kings. I think the key is they were at home. They're playing with a lot of energy, a lot of desperation. They know they don't want to let their home court advantage go right away in this series. So they got that second win at home because I think it's going to be very tough for them in the Bay Area, and I think they know that. But anything can happen. Um, the Kings have really overexceeded my expectations, at least defensively. They're extremely good at home. They're playing with a lot of energy, um, and what you're seeing is yesterday they were the aggressors, and not only are they aggressors, but they're disciplined, right? And that's the key. They had one less foul than the Warriors, even though they were the aggressors. So you would have thought they would have had a lot more fouls, but that wasn't the case because they were so disciplined. The Warriors, on the other hand, they were less aggressive and they were undisciplined, which makes it really hard to win games. And and when we saw this with the 21 turnovers by the Warriors, now a lot of people are saying, well, it's the Warriors beating themselves and all that. But I think you got to give credit to the Kings because defensively, they're making it very, very difficult for the Warriors to run their offense. I mean, there's times Steph, like a lot of what the Warriors do is off the ball action, a lot of movement, and right now they're completely stagnant because the Kings are doing a great job of understanding the whistle, and they're just pushing that limit without going over it too often. Um, and I just think it's really smart, and like there's examples where Steph Curry's getting bear hugged off the ball, and I just think, look, as long as it's not too blatant and you're getting away with it, I think it's great because that's the NBA. That's the playoffs. Like the rest are gonna let you play, and you gotta play through contact, and you gotta learn how to play through contact, and you gotta learn how to be physical and aggressive yet disciplined. And so I think that was the biggest key of the game, and I think that's why the Warriors are going to play much better at home because now they will have that energy and they will be able to be the aggressors. But that being said, there's 4 games in Sacramento and there's 3 games in Golden State. So if Golden State wants to have any chance to win this series, they're going to have to win one on the road. And if they're not executing better, if there's not a better team chemistry, it's not they're not going to get it done. I think as Wiggins gets more into shape, and I think as Gary Payton too is playing more with this team, and as they all play together, I think it's gonna I think the Warriors are gonna pull it off in either 6 or 7, but it's a lot tighter series than I predicted, than I think most people predicted. So um, we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. Um, Another huge aspect of the game last night was the Kings bench. They were again terrific. Malik Monk was terrific. Trey Lyles wasn't as good, but Davion Mitchell was really good. Played some really good defense again. So, um, that was really key. Especially because you know the Kings weren't hitting threes last night, and so the fact that you can still pull off that win and you're not shooting that well, that's a big sign. That's a really good sign. The Draymond ejection was, I thought, played a large role because he's probably their best defender on De'Aaron Fox on that pick and roll. And so one of the problems that the Warriors are having right now is that they're not able to contain the Kings' penetration, and on the other hand, on offense, they're not able to penetrate because the Kings are doing such a good job. They're so aggressive on the ball and off the ball. The Warriors aren't getting in the paint, so they're settling for bad threes. And the trademark of the Warriors is great ball movement, leading to either easy shots inside or open threes, and making the other defense work and allowing your defense to get set. Right now, we're not seeing enough of that from the Warriors, and we're seeing much less of it than we usually see, because again, the Kings are playing with such great energy and their discipline and their aggressivity. Um, the Warriors on defense, they're not as disciplined. A lot of their players were in foul trouble. They had 3 key players, and with 5 fouls last night. Wiggins, Looney, um, and I forgot the last one, but yeah, I forgot the last guy who had 5 fouls, but it might have been Draymond. I don't know, but but that's the key because if you can go underneath those screens and let the Kings shoot threes, and if they're missing, then you're going to be a lot better. But so far, the Warriors haven't been able to do that. And Kevon Looney hasn't been very good in those pick and rolls on defense, like Draymond. At least not as good as Draymond, but I wouldn't say that Draymond's been great either. But I thought defensively the Warriors did a better job yesterday. But again, just too undisciplined, too many turnovers. Um, there's just right now, there's not that team cohesion that the Warriors need to have to win road games. And we saw it all year. They were great at home, not good on the road. And at home you can play a little looser, you can play a little more wild and get away with it because there's so much energy. You get the crowd, you can make mistakes and overcome them. On the road, it's if you don't have good team cohesion and you're not executing well, it's very difficult in this league to win, and especially a playoff game. So I expect the Warriors to go back in the Bay, win the next 2 games. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to help them click as a team a little bit more, and I think they'll have a much better chance of winning Game 5 where they can correct those little details. Because right now, the Warriors they had a chance to win both games, but they're just slightly off. And, and it's enough so that you're not going to win those road games. And if the Warriors want to move on, they're going to have to win a road game because, obviously Sacramento's got 4 home games and the Warriors only have 3. So, yeah, I mean, it's become a pick-em series. A lot of people now are picking Sacramento to go through. I still got the Warriors. I'm confident. But, if the Warriors lose Game 3 at home because the Kings shoot 90% from 3, which can happen. You can have, just one crazy shooting night. Hey, it's, see you later. This series is probably over because nobody's overcome a 3-0 deficit and they're down 2-0. So, when I say I'm confident, yeah, but if they lose the next game, I'm jumping off ship. So the confidence isn't like sky high, right? It's dependent on the Warriors fixing some things, which I think they will because they're a championship team, and I don't see their players and their core just being washed or past their prime or anything like that. They all seem good, so, but we'll see. I mean, again, give credit to Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox has been really good in the clutch. So it's impressive. And then obviously I wouldn't leave you guys without talking about the Draymond and Sabonis incident. And I feel like the past it's an aggressive series, like I said. They're going back and forth. They're each getting in each other's grill. It reminds me a lot of like when Dennis Rodman was playing Karl Malone, and I remember in I think it was '98 finals. They were both, Karl Malone was throwing elbows. Dennis Rodman was tripping him up down the floor, flopping and accidentally tripping him up. And so it just went back and forth like that. And I think, I didn't like the Draymond ejection. I didn't think it was warranted. But, it's definitely, a thing where he's got to do a better job because he knows it's a reputation ejection. Like, Draymond has a reputation in this league of being, I wouldn't say dirty player, but a player who definitely always pushes the line, always pushes the edge, and tries to get underneath his opponent's skin. And so, a lot of people consider him to be a dirty player. So, knowing that, you got to be smarter. You got to be smarter. What Sabonis did, grabbed his ankle and he's trying to go down the floor. Yeah, it's a dirty play, but at the same time, it's a smart play because he got, Draymond Green tossed. He got Draymond Green to react and toss. The moment he grabbed his foot, Draymond's trying to get him off him, and he steps on him, and he makes it, like Draymond just adds too much to it. You got to just like shake him off without hitting him in the chest. I think it was a little bit excessive, but again, knowing, I mostly fault Sabonis for this, and I think Sabonis is at fault, but I just think Draymond's got to be smarter, and it could have cost him. They lost the game yesterday. You could argue that with Draymond they would have won the game. So, but anyways, I just think it's two players going back at each other, And, I just think Draymond didn't play that very smart. And I thought Sabonis, did a great job. He did, honestly, what Draymond should have done is gone to ground and just grab your ankle and start crying. Had he done that, it probably would have been a flagrant 2 on Sabonis, right? But instead, he tries to get away from the hold. He ends up stepping on Sabonis, and there you go. They always in these type of sports, you always get the guy who retaliates. That's how it always works. The guy who retaliates always gets in trouble. The guy who instigated it gets like nothing, and that's what happened last night. And that's a great move by Sabonis. So, again, I talked about discipline and aggressivity. That was the theme of this video. The Kings were disciplined in their aggressivity. The Warriors were not, and this just culminated, into what I'm talking about here. So, the Warriors have to be smarter. Draymond has to be smarter. I don't think he's going to be suspended because when the league sees that replay, obviously Sabonis instigated it. And I don't think, Draymond was trying to hurt him. The play on Sabonis got his X-ray, then Draymond got, all that is just to try to get the other team player, in trouble. So, anyways, hey, really happy to catch you guys. Keep watching the playoffs. It's so much fun. And let's all share this together. All right, bye, guys.